Hello, everyone, especially Gunter family. Hello. Um, Great to see everybody. Just want to let y'all know thank you for Randy's memorial. It was very nice. Very, very good to see everybody that we hadn't seen in a long time. It was a gut punch to see it in that setting, see everyone in that setting, but regardless, it was good to see y'all all. The memorial for Randy was very nice. It's exactly what he would have wanted. Just a bunch of friends and family together, enjoying stories, enjoying each other, and obviously eating barbecue. Or it was very good. I want to apologize. I really intended to say a few words, and I don't know. I probably got 500 excuses, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So, I just apologize for that. But I thought I'd share them here now that I've had a chance to, digest everything and get back here to my home in Michigan. I've been gone almost 20 years, but Randy and I have kept in pretty close contact the whole time. He actually came to visit once and got to see a little bit of this glorious Michigan summer. And then every time I came down there for work, I try to get down once a quarter. I've always made an effort to go see him, spend a little time with him, whether it was sitting on the back porch and having a few, cold brews, or we'd go have a little bit of lunch and have another one there. So we tried to keep up. We tried to talk on the phone pretty often, keep up with the family and the friends and everything else going on. He was always very busy during deer season, as everyone knows. So that was the toughest time to see him. But here's just a quick little synopsis of some memories I have. He was my best friend, my best man in my wedding, and my partner in crime all through our 20s. I always found it interesting. He took in my family like his own. My mom had 7 kids she was raising by herself, and he had countless crawfish boils on Easter, especially at his house with my entire family and everything that came with it. When I was looking for pictures of Randy, I found more pictures of in his backyard of my family than I did his family on there. So clearly, he always made us feel at home and feel part of the family, and all the Gunners did. Sometimes during that portion of my life, I felt like I was a Gunner, so very appreciative of that, and just thank you. I was trying to remember when and where I met Randy. I think Tim Powell was our neighbor, and I'm pretty sure I met him through my brother John and Tim, because I know he graduated with them. Regardless, they all used to visit. I worked at Ken's Pizza while I was going to college, and kind of going through my first marriage and divorce. And Randy and the crew might have gotten a few free pizzas during that time out of me. So it was what it was, But I at that time I was fresh out of a divorce, and I was couch surfing, living with Kearney Amy at the time, and hanging out with Randy and the boys. And Randy knew I was pretty steady, had a job and everything, so and we got along very well. So he suggested we find a place together. I think he was coming from the lovely Chateau Needland at the time, where we had a few parties and events, and that's a whole nother bucket of memories. But he told me, I think I found something. There's a guy that put a trailer house on Kent Street And all the neighbors were pissed off at him and went to the city and said, no, you can't have this trailer house. But he found a loophole, and he had a bunch of glass partitions or panels, I guess, from an old warehouse. And that sucker built a glass house around the trailer house so all the neighbors could see the trailer, but it had a structure around it, so it wasn't a trailer anymore. And then he rented it to us dirt cheap because he said he wanted us to have loud parties and events and everything else. He had it in for the neighbors, so we said, heck yeah. I think our rent was like $250 a month. But that was our first little living together, was the glass house, and in the I don't know, probably around 83, 84. And I found out real quick Randy was the mom of the house. It was fun, but I got an ass eating right out of the bat for leaving the bologna package open. And I used one of his good boning knives to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich one day. He give me an ass eating. Don't ever touch that knife is all I can tell you. But the glass house become famous. We had a bunch of events there, a bunch of parties. Seemed like we're always cleaning up after parties, and Randy concocted an idea one day. He's getting tired of mopping the floor. He wanted us to jack up the back of it and drill holes in the front of it where the kitchen was. That way we could just hose off the kitchen and everything would flow out the holes where we had it jacked up. Thank God we never did that, but it was awesome. Lots of crawfish, lots of barbecues, lots of friends. I left a while from this place to, part of my bad decisions. I went and lived with another girl for about 3 months, and when all that went south, he happily and graciously took me back because he was just a friend and a brother. There's no doubt. We went from there to a house of Port Neches. I don't remember exactly where it was. My biggest memory of that house is Randy was working at King Saver, and we just ate like kings. There was some kind of deal over there. If they had steaks, go to the expiration day or get close, he had to turn them into hamburger meat. And I'd get these phone calls every once in a while. Hey, come pick up these ribeyes. And he'd just throw the hamburger price sticker on there, but instead of grinding them up. And it seemed like we ate steak every night for about a whole summer in that house. I found out real quick in that house how good a soul he was. We had some neighbors live behind us in they rented the garage apartment that was behind this house. And unfortunately, it was a little family, and unfortunately, he came home one day and the wife was there, and she was just in a bunch of disarray and very shook up, and she asked Randy if she'd go upstairs and check on her husband. He had left a note, and Randy went up there and found the guy. He had committed suicide, and he just consoled the mother and the daughter, and it really shook him up. I got home, he was shook up too, but he took that burden upon himself like he took all the other burdens, and helped that poor girl out and comforted her. And he actually, from what I remember, he facilitated some of the cleanup and everything so she could go get her stuff. So it was probably not one of my favorite memories, but it sure told me how good a soul he was. From there, we went to the house off of Rosedale in Port Arthur. Man, we had some parties at that house. It was a sketchy neighborhood, but we had some Hispanic families across the street that sold us some cheap, good tamales. And we just had a good time in that house. We put up a Christmas tree one time and didn't have any real decorations, but we had a bunch of dove decoys from dove hunting, so we decorated with that. And one of the old gals that he had brought by was going, wow, is that what they call a partridge in a pear tree? So we had fun. Randy put up Christmas decorations. The old house had aluminum siding on it, and he put them up with a staple gun, and wrapped them around this wrought iron handrail we had coming up the front door, and he was so, he had a little bit too many. You know, every other staple went right through the Christmas lights there, and poor old email coming to a Christmas party at our house, and he was using a handrail to get up there to steady himself, and every time he grabbed it, it was electrocuting the crap out of him. So, a lot of memories there. My biggest memory there is I was dating we call her the pizza lady. Her name was Gina. She was the manager at Pizza Hut down the street, or Pizza Inn. I don't remember which one it was, but Email and I had done a little bit too much day drinking, and he dropped me off, or I don't know, I probably did something bad, drove home, I can't remember. But anyway, I was going to go see the pizza lady. And Randy, being the friend he always was to me, you're not going nowhere in your car like that. And he took my keys away from me. So I ride my bike to Pizza Hut down Gulfway Drive. And clearly he was right, because I wrecked my bike, kind of like I probably would in my car, and hit a curb, got a blowout on it. So I get there, and pizza lady takes care of me, gets some food in me, says, look, I'm busy tonight, but I got a delivery driver here, was a young black kid, you know. He's going to take you home. He's got a pickup truck. He'll take your bike home. So that's great. So get in the truck, throws the bike in the back, and this young kid goes, look, I can't take you straight home. He said, I got a delivery for 10 pizzas to one place, and this guy tips good. I got to go there first. And I said, oh, man, that's fine. You do what you got to do. I'm here for the ride. Thank you for the ride. And we get to driving, and he drives to Port Arthur, and he gets to his house, and he goes, I looked at him, I said, hey, I thought you said you was going to make your delivery first. And he said, I am. And I'll be damned, he was delivering to our house. Randy was having a big party. So poor old pizza boy delivered 10 pizzas and me at the same time. And as usual, Randy gave him a good tip, something I learned from the Gunter family. So, but we had a good time there. And then from there, Randy comes home one day and says, look, I bought a house in Nederland. You want to come live with me there? So off we go again. He buys a little house in Boston, and I walk in it, and I go, holy crap, what'd you buy here, Randy? Number one, it just built like a trailer house, and number two, my 5'6" head damn near was at the ceiling. The ceiling was so low. But it was another great place, had a great porch in the back. We had a lot of parties there, had a good time. It's when he introduced me to my wife. I mean, we'd both been dating some girls, or he'd been chasing a girl. Let me rephrase that. And he said, hey, let's go to you want to go watch Monday Night Football at the airport bar with me? And here I am. I didn't even know the airport had a stinking bar. And we go to the bar, and that's where I met Mara, and he was chasing, I think her name was Carla, was a waitress there. And we ended up going to the airport bar all the time. So he basically introduced me to Mara. And we went out quite a bit together. I remember one night we were, I don't know, Triangles or somewhere. One of our other haunts we used to go to all the time. Make you remember the 80s and the 90s, Alabama Slammers. But Mara was on crutches for some, I think it was because of her feet, something. But Randy was mouthing off to her. She goes, better shut up, I'm going to kick you in the head. And he goes, you can't kick me in the head. And sure enough, she whacked him right inside the head while she was standing up, so with her feet. So it was a lot of funny memories like that. We had a good time. I know a couple pictures of us at Phase 2 at a New Year's Eve party. That was a great time. We went with a big crowd of people. We tried to be responsible. We rented a room. Mara and I shared a room with Randy at the Holodome. every once in a while he'd get excited, you know, if he had a few drinks. He thought he could do something. And we was up on the top floor at the Holodome, and I don't know if y'all been in there, but there's a waterfall going all the way down, you know, in that big atrium, and he decided he gonna swan dive from the 5th floor there. And it took me, Mar, I think Joe Rodriguez, a few others that was with us. We had to wrestle him into the bedroom and literally tie his ass down to the bed with the bed sheets so he didn't go swan dive. He thought he could make it. Oh my goodness, he thought he could make it, but yeah, he finally woke up the next morning and, why the hell am I tied to this bed? So, lots of memories, lots of great fishing trips. He took me out for my birthday one time to Bessie Heights. We got freaking tide went out. We got stuck in the mud. And he goes, well, since it's your birthday, I'm going to push us out. And that sucker was Bessie Heights marsh mud from head to toe by the time we got out. Miss fantasy football with him. Miss our yearly trip. We had a hell of a lot of memories. Our yearly trip going to the lodge on Memorial Day up at Rayburn. Such good times. Such good times. Too many stories to remember. Probably too many to tell. I know we told a bunch at his memorial. He's been a hell of a friend to me, and even a better brother. I regret not getting to fish one more time with him, and I'm really going to miss him. So, thank you for sharing them with me. I love you all. Peace out, Randy.